Okay. Excited for the opportunity. We've talked about it all week. Going to Pittsburgh, division opponent. It's exciting for us. So we're not yet done with our preparation. Had a good day out there today, but we'll have some meetings tomorrow morning. Then we'll get on that bus and head east. But, again, we're excited about this thing. And with that, I'll take any questions.
You sent Jadeveon home. Did you speak to him personally?
I did, and I think you guys know me and you know what I'm about, and I'm going to keep all those discussions internal. But what I would tell you is nothing comes above the team. Again, I'll kind of keep those things internal.
How does something like this, Kevin, without you telling us what you said to Jadeveon, how does something like this affect the team?
Yeah, I think, I know that locker room. I know what our guys are about. I think throughout the course of the season, you have things that come up, and you trust in your leaders in the locker room.
Did you address the team as a whole about this at all, or the defense?
Yes, I discuss a lot of things with the team, individually, collectively, all those things. But I just think and I understand why you're asking, but I just think it's important that things that are in this building stay in this building. That's what we do.
Are you saying that you haven't decided whether he's playing, or that you're just not going to announce whether he's
saying it right now?
That obviously Jadeveon was frustrated for a long time, and it kind of came to a head now when there wasn't anything to discuss prior.
I wouldn't characterize it as that. I just think every day you got to make decisions that are best for the team.
Fair to say that you're disappointed?
Again, I just think my focus is so Pittsburgh Steeler-centric, and that's where my mind is right now, so that's kind of where I'm going to stay.
Whether this caught you by surprise, or were there rumblings about this before it became known?
Yeah, again, I'm not going to get into my discussions with any of our players throughout the course of the season. As you guys know, we're all human. We all have things that come up throughout the season that we talk about. But I'm not going to get into specifics on this one.
This is the second straight year, though, where something was festering behind the scenes and it boiled over. Last year it was Odell and Baker. This year now it's Jadeveon. I know the timing is different in two situations, but it brings into question leadership and what's going on behind the scenes between the coaching staff and within the locker room. And, the fact that he made this as public as he did, that's why the question. So I guess just what is going on? Is this a pattern that you're concerned about?
Yeah, I understand the question, Darryl. I would tell you every team, all 32, we all deal with things throughout the season. And sometimes they stay in-house and you deal with them. Sometimes they don't. But that's very similar to family, and that's what we do. We operate as a family, and sometimes you make tough decisions, but that's what we're trying to do.
Mary Kay that against the Ravens in Week 15, he was only going to play on third downs after you guys told him that he was flipping sides in the alignment. Is that the case, that you guys allowed him to just play on third downs?
Yeah, I'm not going to get into the specifics. There's a lot of things there, Jake, that I just don't think it's fair to go beat by beat on that.
That assessment that
I'm not going to get into it.
Had he voiced his frustrations to you?
I've had a lot of conversations with a lot of guys. JD's somebody that I respect. He's a veteran. We've had conversations, yes, but I just don't think it's fair in this setting. And I understand the questions, I do, but I just think it's fair to our team that we keep those conversations internal.
Fourth time, though, this season, known publicly that a defensive player has had to be disciplined in some form or fashion. Is that a pattern or just a coincidence here?
Yeah, again, I'd tell you everything is case by case, I would tell you. Every team I've been a part of, and at all levels, you always have things that come up, and you deal with them. That's again, I go back to, it really is no different than family. Sometimes you get in arguments with your brothers. That's life. But you move on and you get past it.
Seemed critical of the decision to move Miles around in search of the best matchup. But that's something you guys do. Do you think that's the right move, is to try to get your best player on?
I do.
That seems like something normal.
Yeah, again, not replying specifically to that, but yes, I do think that it's best to move Miles around and try to play to his strengths.
Does the sentiment surprise you, considering that Miles has been double teamed more than any player in the league to this point?
Yeah. Again, I don't want to get into the back and forth on what was said and my response to it. I don't think that's productive.
Are you going to take Clowney to Pittsburgh?
Again, all those things I'll keep internal.
On what you'll do in terms of Jadeveon playing or not playing on
Yes.
Sunday?
Yeah.
But do you want to address it with the team first? Or
Yeah,
how-
there's a lot of things I just, it's just got off the practice field, so I want to continue to communicate the right way.
And things like that, and something happens. But does something like this kind of underscore that, yes, you're a team, but this is also a business at the end of the day, too?
Yeah, I mean, I think you guys have seen over the course of different teams and different seasons, and there's things that come up. And listen, even when you're winning, there's things that are going on, and you work through as that family. We'll continue to do that. My focus is on Sunday in Pittsburgh. That is my 100% sole focus, and that's the locker room as well. I understand, I understand the story, I understand the questions, I get all that, but we got a big one on Sunday.
Why do you think your players are vocally come out to speak about things when you try and do a good job of keeping it in-house? Because it is something that's happened rather consistently since last season.
Yeah, again, I think you try to educate the players throughout the season on things that you want to share, things that you don't want to share, and all those type of things. Ultimately, guys will make their decisions, but it's our job to educate them and just remind them. Again, this is a team game, and nothing's going to come in front of that.
Scott's question about matchups, moving Miles, trying to set your defense up that way. Last season, Clowney had 9 sacks. He had a kind of a career renaissance. Do you see a drastic difference from the way you guys are using Miles and Clowney last year compared with this year?
No.
This where you guys are working to still establish a culture here with the right players, the right fit. Is something like this needed to just send that message to the rest of the locker room that, hey, we're trying to do something here, we're trying to set up culture here, we can't have this type of stuff?
Yeah, I think, as you can imagine, I don't send messages to the locker room. I just tell people, to their face what I think, and just be transparent with our guys, be fair with our guys, and that's what I'm doing.
Is that building a culture, though? Is that something that's still a point of emphasis for you guys moving forward?
Yeah, I mean, we've talked about culture before, and you guys have heard me say this culture is about people. Bottom line. So when you got the right people, you got the right culture. You're constantly trying to make sure that within your locker room, guys are living up to what you believe in. But we do that every day.
Good.
Three things. With Denzel, obviously didn't practice this week, but questionable. Like, what are you looking to see?
Yeah, just going to let the next 48 hours determine that. Not ruling him out, see how he feels over the next couple days.
Just get James Hudson instead of Jack at right tackle. Obviously, he struggled last year in Pittsburgh against T.J. Watt. How much better do you feel about him this year?
Yeah, last year's last year. He's done a very nice job this season. That's a tough task. We understand how good their defensive front is, obviously with number 90, but they got a bunch of really, really good players. It's a very good defense. So it's a great challenge for us as an offense to go up against that group. It's a great challenge for us as a team. This is a really good football team. They're well coached, and that's why we're excited for the opportunity.
Your questions on, obviously, about the Hamlin situation earlier in the week. Have you heard that he spoke to the Bills today? They announced that, and what's your reaction?
I did not know that. I did not know that. That's the power of prayer. It would be my response.